leading a frontal assault on the lies of the New World Order. It's Alex Jones.
All right, so I have opened the phones up for folks that disagree, and there are very few calling in that disagree at 877-789-ALEX. So I'll talk to Patty and Toby here, and then we're going to open the phones up to everybody just about what do you make of the fog of war, and that we're in really a form of civil war, and the left is just bullying and threatening and attacking and having fake secret tribunals in the Congress that Republicans can't attend, and they're getting ready for a trial before Thanksgiving and then starting the trial in the Senate and having it done by Christmas. Hell, now they're saying trial done by Thanksgiving. I don't think that's going to happen, but this is very serious. I mean, they don't have the former head of CIA assassinations, counterterrorism is what it's called, Phil Mudd on TV saying we're going to kill the president, if they're not trying to telegraph that and get somebody to do it. I mean, if I went on air and said, and I'm not saying this because they'll edit it and say I said that, if I came on air and said what Phil Mudd's saying, if somebody needs to kill the president, somebody needs to go do it, people take that from authority figures like it's okay to carry it out. I would get in trouble, and I should. I mean, I've melted down and yelled and screamed before and said I'd like to catch who's sending us child porn and trying to plant it on our servers. When I find out I'm going to put their head on a pike, that's all figurative. And I was also screaming about these lawyers, clearly wasn't talking about them, and they ran around saying I was threatening them. But then when the left clearly threatens people, I mean, the last thing I'd do was sit there and actually say I want physical violence against these people, because that's what they do. I'm not stooping down to their level, and I don't want to make them martyrs. The only way they could win right now is assassinating Hillary and blaming it on us. And so the idea that I want violence, the idea that I'm pushing violence, the idea that patriots are doing that is just asinine. It's the left assaulting and harassing people. But you turn on the news, and people are saying, oh, Trump supporters are attacking people all over America. And Millie Weaver and Caitlin Bennett go up and talk to these people. And they look at them. And they tell them, oh, I've seen you Trump supporters. You're assaulting people. I saw it on the news. And Millie Weaver, in one video that's up on Infowars today, she goes, this is just last night. She goes, where'd you see that? She goes, I saw it on CNN in Minneapolis. Well, we've seen all the footage of Minneapolis. It's leftist attacking men, women, and children, attacking the police viciously, slapping women in the face, hitting people in the face from behind, hitting people in the head from behind. But when you talk to a leftist, they go, I've seen your violence, and Trump's a Nazi. And I had a bunch of Antifa following me when I was ready to go, because they always want to follow you and then have the fake victory that you've left. They'll wait till you leave a restaurant and scream, get out of here, when you're paying your check or walking out the front door. So they followed me back to the parked armored vehicle we came in just for fun, because that's what the security company we hired. They said, we got an armored Suburban, we got an armored truck. Which one do you want to take? I said armored truck, because it's got a turret in the top where I can drive around bullhorning. It's great. So they followed us about a half mile back to the truck. And I started chanting the stuff about how the Democrats founded the KKK and how I stand against white supremacists, and a bunch of them looked at me real weird and stopped. And because this was the lowest level Antifa. Actually, about half of them actually were Hispanic and black and stuff, and they were being directed by the other Antifa that were, college professors and people in masks. And they were like, huh? They were like, huh? Well, you don't hate us? And I said, no, you've been lied to. They're like, huh? That's on video too. And I'm like, yeah, dude. They couldn't believe I was saying down with the KKK. They went, oh, well, we're sorry. They really believed it. I was KKK. All right, we're going right to your phone calls throughout this hour. Then Dr. Nick Begich takes over in the fourth hour. Then Owen Schroyer's back with all the HD footage of Antifa attacking myself and others, all the HD footage of myself driving through in the armored vehicle through Antifa and the rest of them down the street in Dallas. Pretty epic stuff. People love the archetype of it. We got home at 1 o'clock in the morning last night because our flight was canceled. We drove back from Dallas. We flew up there. I didn't get to bed till 2 something. I got up at 6 this morning. Rob Dew was with me, so he just got here, and we have hours of HD footage with cuss words all over it. So that's why we haven't had really any of that for you yet. But the raw footage is all posted on Infowars.com. DrudgeReport.com, at least the last time I checked, had it right in the middle. So you can find our updated page that's updating with all the footage. It's just crazy stuff. There it is. Alex Jones attends Dallas rally in armored vehicle. And we should probably just add to the sub-headline that it is being continuously updated. Also, a man with gun wearing helmet, vest, arrested outside event. And he was wearing an Infowars shirt. And it turns out Owen was able to get contacted by him. I've invited the fellow on the show. I haven't gotten word back yet. And it turns out he was just there in case Antifa attacked, exercising his Second Amendment, was not planning anything violent, was nowhere near the president. But it turns out that is not fake news. The gentleman says he was wearing an Infowars shirt, I guess under his jacket. But they sure made that into a big deal. So not everything's a false flag, ladies and gentlemen. So we checked into it, and that's a real report. ABC is normally telling you that Trump's vaporizing the Kurds with 5,000-foot red mushroom clouds. That's not true. But we should have that HD footage, some clips for you by the end of this hour. If not, I will commandeer some of poor Nick Begich's precious time. He loves to do the show. He knows he can get preempted, and he's a good friend of mine going back 20 years, but there's just so much breaking news on Fridays. It's just crazy. And if stuff breaks, I'll be back here tomorrow because I'm committed to win this. We've been in a long fight against the globalists, and we've gotten so far now that globalism's in trouble. Their system's been exposed. They don't know what to do. They're censoring, which is blowing up in their face. We're forcing a major debate about which side are they on, the Chi-Coms or Americana. We're dictating the future because no one else had ever challenged these corporations. The world was asleep. We're not asleep anymore. And so now, though, is the time to really work the hardest ever because we're barely winning. And we're coming from behind. And we've now crossed the 50% mark, and we're 52% ahead. Well, that's not having it in the bag, folks. Okay, and again, it doesn't mean some utopia is about to happen, and I'm offering some utopia. The world's not perfect, but we can go for people to be in positions of leadership that actually care about humanity and produce results, and then go off someone keeping their promises and someone fighting hard to deliver on what they've said they do. I mean, if people don't appreciate that, then you deserve what you get. And so for me, it's bittersweet. I love Trump. He's done an amazing job on so many fronts, but he's not stood up for the persecution of his supporters. He hardly ever talks about how they get beat up outside of the arenas because he thinks that will scare people away. He needs to say, don't let these bullies stop you. More need to come. I'm going to have a rally at 100,000, group. He needs to call their bluff. And he needs to speak out against the censorship. And Brad Parskill needs to. And, if they don't do that and they leave us out to dry, it's just not right. And I know Trump is not a Svengali. He's not Houdini. He's not perfect. But I think Matt Drudge is right to show how much trouble Trump's in. Because I don't think Trump's figured it out. And I think that everybody being overconfident that nothing's going to happen to Trump, that sounds like, nothing's going to happen to the Titanic either. It's bad luck, folks, okay? And there's a big debate about what's Drudge doing. Well, Drudge will show what they're saying, and then he'll show what Trump's saying. And then when it turns out Trump's right, he'll show it. I mean, it's still 70% pro-Trump. I think it's pretty boring to have a page that just supports the president. I mean, we have the enemy up on our site, and I see people going, what do you have this Hillary speech on here? We don't need to hear from her. You don't need to hear from her saying she may get back in the race and saying she won the last election and saying she wants to censor people. I mean, I'm not saying the general audience is like this, but we do have folks on Infowars and people that talk to the street. They say, hey, Trump's invincible. I mean, I like Jesse James. He's a friend of mine. He's been demonized in the news. None of it's true. He ended up moving in next to me, so I got to be good friends with him years ago. But, he's always like, Trump will be fine. Don't worry, Alex. Come on, everything's wonderful. And, I just don't have that type of confidence. I need to fight to make sure we get in a position so we don't go there. And that's all I'm saying. And Trump can really be criticized for just letting 5G come in, for not stopping the vaccines he knows almost, killed Barron. Really messed him up for a while. Barron bounced back. A lot of folks don't. Plus, Trump has got knowledge on the right stuff to do and how you can change the gut flora. And Bill and Melinda Gates know all that stuff. And this is big. This is a big deal. And they intend to take Trump out. Just because their reasons are fake doesn't mean anything. And so I support what he's done in Syria. I think it's wonderful. I just think that we better not be like the left and live in a bubble. And I think making this show not a bubble is important. That's why I tell people to call and disagree. Let's go to Cody in Canada, and then Bill in Kansas, and then Toby, Patty, and Matt. And you guys say you want Trump impeached. Go ahead, Cody. Sounds like it's raining. You know, this white noise might put me to sleep. I sleep with white noise on just like this. I got a fan going, and it sounds like rain coming down so hard. I want to keep that going. No, I like that. There you go. You know, you go to YouTube and it's got white noise and it'll like 100 million views, 10 hours of white noise. We can just record 10 hours of this and then put a pillow commercial at the front of it and make $1 million. Oh, my goodness. Bill in Kansas, you're on the air. Welcome. Like I said, we got a new way of doing things around here, folks. And it's just been magic around here lately. But I like it. I don't get mad anymore about technical difficulties. I just enjoy them. There you go. There's some more white noise for you. Okay. Well, you got to know, you know what the gambler says. You got to know when to hold them. You got to know when to fold them. You got to know when to walk away. You got to know when to run. So we're done with calls. We'll cut the white noise off at that point. I even have the power to do that these days. You know, who knows? It's equipment. You know, it's all that equipment. It's a daisy, isn't it? Now, I have a lot of really powerful reports that I haven't even aired because they're long, and I don't want to not do them justice and then just only air 5 minutes of this or 5 minutes of that. I want to air the best parts. But really, a lot of the intros of these are the best parts. But I really do encourage people to go to band.video and see this for yourself. But when I come back, I'm going to play some clips of some of the looniest leftists you've ever seen. And then I'm going to get into some of the other news I haven't hit yet. And then we're going to play the video, the condensed down video, because there's hours of it, of Antifa threatening to kill me and spitting at me and attacking me, and the Dallas police standing down. It's pretty noteworthy that families are trying to go to these Trump rallies, and this is what's going on outside. And then after the events, they try to follow the families out to their cars to attack them so that people get scared and don't support Trump, because the last thing they want people to see is the image out there of people that support Trump. They want to gaslight everybody in a big cult that no one supports him. And then threaten those that are prominent and have big voices that are supporting him and make our lives living hell. And then Trump doesn't do anything about that, and so he loses his support. So that's the love-hate relationship that's going on there. So when we come back, I don't have a way to describe this. I'm just going to have to play this video from Millie Weaver when we come back on the other side, and then I'll get to the other news. Infowars.com, newswars.com. It truly is tomorrow's news today, and only on air because of your support. If you can figure out how to reverse how the public has become very lethargic, very sloth-like, very stupid on average, and getting stupider by the day, you could really save the species. But if you look at the ingenuity, the hard work it took to build this civilization, the craftsmanship, the dedication, and then you have a bunch of savages basically inheriting it. White savages, black savages, brown savages, yellow savages. Spoiled, rotten video game players, people that don't give a damn about anybody but themselves. All the statistics show it. We're not living as long. Our IQs are dropping. I don't care what color you are. We're in trouble. And then the elitists celebrate how dumb the public is and how much they can screw them over. I'm not going to list Obama or Gruber or Rahm Emanuel and people celebrating the public being stupid. That's dangerous. And it's a spirit where people get into not caring. And, well, I'm going to go to your calls. We got the phone system working. It just had a weird glitch and was hung up, so I apologize. 2 callers were there, but it was just hung up, a little digital thing, so it's working now. We'll go to the next segment. But I wanted to just play some of these right now because it's just epic footage at Band.video. And when I say that, I mean, I was driving home last night watching Caitlin Bennett and Millie Weaver videos, and they were filing like 5 of them a piece yesterday, and they filed more this morning. And just every one of them is incredible. And they're not cherry-picking dumb people here, okay? They are not cherry-picking any of it. And the numbers show it. People are really stupid now. And they're getting stupider. And you've seen it, and there's a lot of documentaries and books written about it, that Europe and here in the U.S., but Asia has a lot of lotteries as well, that you'll have some middle-class dude who's been married for 30 years, totally happy, got a nice house, swimming pool, goes on vacations every year, his kids are in college. He wins a $5 million lottery, and a year later he's dead, in prison, bankrupt, or a combination of those in 95% of the cases. I mean, they basically, it's hard to find cases where people get a bunch of money and don't destroy their lives if they didn't earn it. If they didn't learn how to control it. Money and success will destroy you faster than anything if you're just going for success and money. I mean, you think people like Dan Bilzerian is happy because his daddy gave him $100 million, whatever? You think these rock stars are happy and they even earned it, supposedly? No, because they're not helping people. So when I see these people with no attention span, lower than a goldfish, literally, and I know it's being done by design, but it's worse than that. Once you get someone in a smart-ass attitude, once you get someone in a not-caring slacker attitude, you know, I like Rick Linklater, but he made Slacker his first big film, and it's celebrated being quirky, not having any drive, because that was really going on with people in Austin. He's not a slacker. Guy works his ass off. But why was that celebrated by the left? Because they're glorifying being a jellyfish. Because that's what the system wants. They don't want to compete with you. Again, you think a male lion wants to compete with other male lions? He walks up and he smells the other lions. Sticks his nose right in their crotch to see if it's a boy or a girl. And if it's a boy, he eats it. That's what the female lions do, is protect the cubs, not from hyenas, but from other lions. Same thing with grizzly bears. And if you take that allegory of this, that's how it works. Meanwhile, we have this that I'm just going to have to describe. This is another Soros-funded, I looked it up this morning, group that's claiming women are oppressed because there's taxes on tampons. Now, I'm all for getting rid of taxes, but you don't do it just because someone's a woman or someone's a man. You decide to do it across classes and say, okay, well, all forms of diapers, we're going to get rid of taxes. Okay, do that. But don't do it for women. Do it for everybody. That creates another discriminatory system. But imagine, this is just another insane group with men, feminist men. It's like a 15-minute report. They get even crazier. Talking about how, well, just hear it from them yourself. Here's Millie Weaver.
How did you find out about this movement and get involved with it?
So I was co-founder of Period at The Ohio State University, and eventually I began working with Period National as a policy coordinator, and now as one of the leaders of the National Period Day campaign. 1, 2, 3, end period poverty!
We are a youth-run nonprofit celebrating menstruation. We help people with periods.
This is an issue that I believe we can eradicate, and that's why we're focused on pushing it forward.
Do you think that ending this period tax is going to help end poverty?
this is a form of poverty. So yes, 100%. Period poverty is a form of poverty. It's a legitimate form of poverty, and working together with all these legislators here in Ohio and across the country, I believe we can do it and end it. Yeah.
On Saturday, we're actually having National Period Day.
There's a crisis that's being ignored.
It's keeping far too many people away from school.
1 in 4 women can't afford menstrual hygiene products.
Tampons, pads,
Essentials.
Some have to use cardboard instead, or toilet paper, or even trash.
If you think it's uncomfortable to talk about period poverty, imagine the people with cardboard in their underwear.
You don't have to have PMS to be pissed off about it.
But it helps.
46% of women in St. Louis had to choose
Okay, let's
between
stop right
access
here.
to food.
You've got toxic waste being dumped in the ocean. You've got 90% nuclear reactors leaking. You've got the huge third world populations ballooning. You've got the Chinese communists putting 2 million people in death camps. You've got all this going on, and they're trying to claim that women are too poor to get tampons. And they're inventing this big crisis, but it's really so they can have, if you're a radio listener, you're lucky, show big fat gay men with blood coming out of their nose and other women bleeding, and then it cuts to women bleeding out of their crotches, to just make everything ugly and just the left's always obsessed with bathrooms and people's genitals and poop and urine and blood because they're mentally ill. They're miscreants. And the CIA under leftist control admitted, it was declassified 10 years ago, that for 40 years they pushed ugliness in TV, ugliness in media. They made the family look bad. They made fathers look stupid. They made ugly architecture and ugly art to make you feel depressed. And in fact, I didn't get to the most important thing yesterday. Yesterday was a very important broadcast, and so was the day before, but I never got to the record suicides of teenagers and the troops and how it's getting worse, and then how it shows record use of serotonin reuptake inhibitors, antidepressants, whose own inserts say they make you commit suicide. So if I don't get to that today, I'm going to get to that on Sunday, because that's something we can cover to really do something about a real crisis, not period poverty, so a bunch of leftist, film students can splatter blood on their faces. One of the videos that I'll air at the start of the next hour before Nick Begich comes on was shot in Dallas last night by Caitlin Bennett. She talked to dozens of people and said, we need to ban the full auto guns that fire cotton balls out of them, and we need to stop them giving newborn babies the machine guns. And they're like, yes, we need to ban that. And then she goes, and the invisible clips and magazines that you can't see, they're like, yes, we need to ban those. We need to SWAT team everyone and take them. Yes, we need to do that. I never even got to Beto O'Rourke. Yesterday, I was so obsessed with the fact that they're hyping up killing Trump everywhere. Yeah, there it is. Invisible magazine clips. Liberals don't know anything about guns. I mean, that headline doesn't even do it justice. And by the way, you can't do it justice. These people don't know their ass from a hole in the ground. And that's exactly how the system wants it. What did the architect of Obamacare said? He said, thank God the public's so dumb and has no memory. But I'm going to go to your calls here in a moment, but some of the great things Trump said, like I said, his rhetoric is as good as it gets. We're fighting against leftists, socialists, and globalists. This is just so beautiful, and it's going to have long-lasting effects as Trump teaches America on a bigger scale than I ever could, and the world, who the real enemy is. I mean, this is big mojo.
Against leftists, socialists, and globalists who want to return to reckless wars, open borders, rampant crime, and totally disastrous one-way trade deals. We're changing that one around very quickly.
Because they're corporate raiders. They want destruction. They feed off the crisis.
They believe America is the world's piggy bank and that your tax dollars should subsidize the economy, military, and defense of every other nation in the world but our own. It's not happening anymore.
Beautiful.
Our political opposition made its fortune selling out our nation and its citizens, and you know that's what's been happening, and that's why 2016 was so important, and that's why 2020, I can never say it's more important, but you know, it's like the roots of a tree. You plant a baby tree, it's got to catch. get that extra time. We'll have more tax cuts. We'll have even, I'll tell you what, we have rebuilt our military. What we've done has never been done before.
That is probably the best minute I've ever heard from Trump, except he did so good at the UN, saying globalism is not the future, nationalism and family and free market and religious freedom for Christians and is the future. I mean, it's just wonderful. That's why I want Trump to win. I want to win. I want to beat the enemy. But we would not be here right now if it wasn't for you, the listeners. Now, I'm going to get to all the callers here. Supposedly, everybody disagrees and thinks Trump should be impeached. We had some technical problems earlier. Couldn't go to your calls, but I'm going to try to go to anti-deep state in a moment, and then Gary and James and Matt and Toby and Patty. And then Rob Dew, who got 4 hours sleep like I did. I'm just saying he's a hardworking guy. Because I'm not knocking the rest of the guys. They needed some time off. You know, they're all sleeping, I guess. He's been up here. That's why he's the news director, because he works 20 hours a day when we need him to. And he is been working like a beaver with hours and 5 different cameras of footage to try to put together 4 minutes of highlights that we will air at the start of the next hour and then post the article that's linked on drudgereport.com. Alex Jones arrives at Trump rally in armored vehicle. And again, the Lord works in mysterious ways. Again, I was sitting here. My crew was there. I'm saying they're trying to assassinate the president. They've been telegraphing they want to do it. We need to point out what happened to Kennedy in Dallas and that they're openly talking about it and that it could happen any time. I mean, they've said they want to kill him. And so I said, you know, I may go up there. Well, I was fully intending to go up there, but I didn't want to give any enemy operatives exactly where I would be and when, for obvious reasons. They're literally gunning for me. And we called a group of you know, retired soldiers that run a security company in the group that my security's with. And they said, yeah, we got an armored Suburban and we got an armored truck. And they said, you might want to bullhorn out the top of the truck. I don't usually want to look ostentatious. But I thought, hey, this is a great entrance. And it worked out really, really nice. I went up and down in front of it an hour before the doors, before Trump even got there, right during the golden hour. And it is, it's powerful, powerful stuff that is coming up. And we've got a bunch of HD footage, too. So throughout the weekend, that's going to be coming out. Well, like I said, 5 cameras shooting HD. It takes a lot of people to even go through that. But we're not CNN here, folks. And that's why your financial support is so critical, is that we got Millie Weaver and Caitlin Bennett and Paul Watson and Dan Lyman and so many other great reporters. I'm not going to name them all here, like Tom Pappert. And you've got, I mean, the list just goes on and on. There's a lot of people. And John Bound, the list just goes on and on. And then these are people that have families. These are people that we pay enough to live decently. And the rest of Hollywood now doesn't even really pay people anymore that are mid-level. And it takes a lot of money to run this. There's nothing else like this in the world. So thank you for visiting InfoWarsStore.com. InfoWarsStore.com just has amazing supplements, amazing products, amazing water filtration, air filtration. We have a super special going right now on air filtration, Alexa Pure Breeze. And we've got 40 to 70% off the supplements, free shipping store-wide, double Patriot points, the Everything Must Go emergency sale. We're selling out of all of our inventory. I intend to by Christmas. I never sell out of everything. Well, I need to just to be able to know what I can budget to buy for next year, and so I can know what we can operate on. I mean, it's that close. There's not any fat left, folks. And so I just really want to expand, and I pray that God will move your heart to get products you already need. Get your coffee, get your toothpaste, get your turmeric from us, get the best B12 you get from us, get your vitamin mineral fusion from us, get your protein bars from us, get your knockout sleep aid from us, get your fish oil from us, get your iodine that's absolutely essential. Take the iodine challenge. It's all there, InfoWarsStore.com or 888-253-3139. Okay. Let me air a few minutes of Caitlin Bennett and her video. Democrats are worried about cotton balls and invisible clips. This is on Band.video. You definitely want to share this. And then we'll come back and take calls for a few segments, and then I'll get to the boil down of Antifa attacking me and the police standing down and all the rest of it. But here's a few minutes of her report. And understand, it gets worse throughout the report. We were not cherry picking. These are dangerous people. Here they are.
Take these clips and they put them in magazines, and then they put the magazines in the barrel
Can you believe that?
They'd do anything, I guess. You know, I didn't know what a bump stock was until Las Vegas.
Yeah, bump stock, you just stick a little piece of cotton in there, and it just turns the whole thing into an automatic machine gun, right?
Yes.
Our parents just able to buy it for them, like
so they go in with a coupon from the NRA, and they're like, hey, I have a coupon from the NRA for a PG-13. Can I get one? And they just give them. They don't even really have to pay for them. They think that every kid should have a PG-13.
Okay, that's insane.
I think it's great that you're talking about this. I think it's a huge problem.
I mean, invisible guns are a
problem. And we can definitely do better than we're doing now. And the idea of invisible guns doesn't sound like we're doing better.
No more clips with holes in them.
Unless clips with holes in them? Yeah, sure.
It's no secret that Democrats want to take your guns, and they will use any excuse to do so, even when they don't have a clue how they work. I'm going to prove that to you guys today. We're going to go talk to Democrats, and I'm going to explain crazy things about guns that are not true, how they don't even work, and they're going to say, we need to do something about it.
By the way, again, the full thing's on Band.video. If I go to a grocery store or I walk down the street, we love Caitlin Bennett. We love Millie Weaver. Well, we love them too. And they just do a great job. And I've got a bunch of other people I want to hire and a bunch of other shows I want to launch. I mean, I've got like 20 reporters, but they got to have money to do this full time. And, you know, Caitlin's not paid hardly anything by us, just her expenses. And then she does some donation drives to actually fund herself. She's very frugal. I mean, this lady's awesome. She gets attacked. In this video, though, if you're a radio listener, she's in a disguise so they don't beat her up. We'll be right back with your calls. Brainwashed liberals think Trump is a gangster. We're going to play that. We're going to play the boil down of the leftists attacking me in Dallas and the armored vehicle and all the hubbub about that. So that's all coming up. And then Nick Baggage at about 15 after or so is going to be always loaded and ready to cover a lot of interesting things and also a lot of positive things and solutions. And then I'll be back this Sunday, 4 to 6 p.m. Sunday live. Let's go ahead and talk to Anti-Deep State Party. That's the caller's name from North Dakota. Okay, Anti-Deep State, thanks for calling. Welcome.
Thank you, Alex. Appreciate the call. And I've been a long-time listener. I have a love-hate relationship with Donald Trump. Two of my things that I really get under my skin, number one is the red flag laws. That really is going to put a damper on gun owners. You know, I work for courtroomwatch.com, and we're finding a lot of mental arrests in the court systems, and I believe they're going to go after American citizens with those laws. And secondly, my other gripe with him is this communist type of social score that he's trying to bring into America. You know, that I think is a very dangerous road to go down.
Well, I want to be fair. We're told that's been proposed to him, and we confirmed it was proposed, and that he didn't decry it. But I don't think it's fair to say he proposed it. He did say, we'll look at red flag laws, and later he said, no, those won't work. We're not going to do that. So he backed down on those, or he backed off of those.
Well, let's hope that he sticks with that. I really.
I agree. Listen, he needs to go offensive. We need to have the federal courts as well. You've got all over the country, they're taking guns from people. An 86-year-old crosswalker, or where was it? It was in Maine. It was on Monday. Or was it in Delaware? I forget. The school resource officer was taking long 2-hour lunch breaks, and he said, hey, some crazy can shoot up the school. He needs to be there and take his lunch there. They said that was a threat. They admitted that the old guy has no record and that he wasn't saying he'd shoot up the school. He was saying the cop needs to be there, so they took his gun, red flag law. That's the end of due process. A guy sent out a meme on Joker saying, you know, one ticket for Joker, please, as a joke, showing a guy in a black trench coat. Well, that isn't a call for violence. It's saying, you know, incel, a guy without a girl, the Joker. It was a joke. They took his guns in Washington State. Pretty dangerous, huh?
Right, absolutely. And I feel like they're going to be pushing this more and more. I mean, it's like a repeat of history, like Nazi Germany used mental health laws on the people. And, you know, we have the advantage. We can see history, and as American citizens, we have the ability to take action in a very civil way, you know. Like
boy, you just said it. I mean, history is 2020, not just hindsight. That is what history is. And we know what's happening is bad. We know it's going to be horrible. And that's what upsets me the most, is to see so many fellow Americans that are just totally unaware of what's already hitting them. But let me ask you this. You're saying impeach Trump for red flag laws. I don't think that's fair, because he's not really doing that. And again, what would you get if you got rid of him?
Honestly, what we'd get if we got rid of Donald Trump is we would get somebody that we know is a complete enemy, somebody that would make the American people rise up and take back our country.
Well, that's one school of thought, that they knew Hillary would blow up, so they let Trump get in, and knowing that would actually energize the leftists. That's a very sophisticated Machiavellian view. I appreciate your call. I don't know if I agree with that, but I don't think I can disagree with it, because the future is not set yet. But, man, if Hillary had gotten in, oh, I mean, whoa. Just thank God for Trump. I just, again, I love Trump. He's doing so much good, but he has the power to really get them off his back and my back and other people's backs. And I was on a plane last night, flying up to Dallas. Thanks for the call, Anti-Deep State. This woman talked to me for an hour, because we were stuck on the tarmac for 40 minutes, and she was a liberal. She's like, oh, my God, you're Alex Jones. I've heard you're Satan. And after about 20 minutes, she goes, well, you're really nice. I really like you, blah, blah, blah. And, she was just flipping out. The woman beside her goes, yeah, but what about how his resort is going to host a G7? And that's a violation of, him making money in a government position. And I went, are you kidding? And he is. The emoluments clause says that he can't enrich himself from his office, but that means he can't say, all government businesses can only stay in my hotels. If no one ever stays in his hotels, which is happening because he's the president and it's government, then he would lose that, when his hotels are right there in the same area and were used before. And so Trump's like, I'm going to say G7 can meet there, and that he won't use any U.S. government money, but that foreign countries will come pay for it, which is all his plan. Well, that place is about to go under. Trump's lost billions. I mean, he's dying from this. And so other presidents made big money off things. As long as he's not doing it for the taxpayers or whatever, I don't see how he gets rid of everything he's got and he goes bankrupt because he's the president. He already gives up his paycheck. And they're always henpecking. The Air Force landed, in Scotland, and then the officers decided to stay at his hotel on their own money because it was the close by. And the media said that was an emolument violation. So I kind of get what Trump's doing at a certain point, like, hey, China, investigate Biden. You paid him off. I told you that was sarcastic, and now Jordan and others have said that, and so is Trump. He's not serious. He's calling China on it. Oh, you think Ukraine's bad? China, why don't you look at Biden and what you did? He's calling them. And so CNN's like, he's normalizing his corruption. No, he's not letting you intimidate him into not taking action. Now, he's doing it so hardcore, he may be going too far. Because is now the time to say, let's have the G7 at our facility. That's just asking for it, but I think Trump just doesn't care anymore, which is called real confidence. I mean, there's no confidence on earth like, I'm not going to tell the whole story, I'll just go to your calls, but people know when you're really confident versus when you're not confident. Fake confidence is not the real deal. People smell real confidence. Like if you go in a room of women and you're not trying to attract them or be around them or impress them, and you're busy, you're the guy they can't stop talking to or looking at or wanting. And it's the same thing in anything. It's like if you're at a ball event or something and there's a repair guy fixing, a chandelier in the corner, the women are all looking at him because he's focused and not thinking about them. It's just the way the universe works. I don't know how to explain it, but it's the same thing. Like Trump at some point has to stop caring what the globalists think or do and stop reacting to everything like he's done something wrong. The danger is that he doesn't want to go too far. But my God, all these presidents personally have these foundations and get hundreds of millions and billions. and just to do paper play publicly. And Biden goes on TV and says, yeah, I had the guy fired because he talked about, investigating my son. I held back $1 billion if they didn't. I mean, he's doing it out in the open. So Trump's saying, well, we used to have all these big things at my places before this, and they said they want to have it here. And, at a certain point, but that's like, what? It's starting to, I don't know, man. It's crazy. I'm sure Trump knows what he's doing. We're going to find out. Okay, Gary in Florida. Gary, thanks for holding. You're on the air. Welcome.
Alex, can you hear me?
I sure can, sir.
Okay. You rock, man. I really enjoyed listening to
you. You rock, brother. What's on your mind?
Well, what's on my mind is impeachment at this point, maybe not so bad to expose what's going on. In my opinion, I think, I don't know what's in Trump's mind, but each day we learn something new. And my feeling is you got this Scaramucci guy going around saying 20, 30 senators have turned already. You've got generals coming out saying that this guy should never make it to an election against Article 88.
Oh, I don't think there's any doubt they're making their move on Trump.
Yeah, so you've got all these people in intelligence agencies, never in 58 years have I seen anything like this, going on CNN and everywhere else and saying...
But I think that's a good thing. This is the permanent deep state that presided over the sellout of our nation, just like he said earlier. He said these people have gotten rich off selling out our nation. That's what globalism is.
Absolutely, absolutely. So we're talking trillions. These people have taken trillions, used Ukraine and all these places as bases, and have taken trillions of dollars. So you got guys, these multinational corporations, like you guys like Source and all these people.
Hold on. So Gary, you don't think he should be impeached? You think Trump's setting him up?
Exactly. I think impeachment.
Hold on. Stay there. We're getting to Gary. We're getting to James, Patty, Toby, and Matt, and then I'm going to play the clip, and then we've got Nick Baggage, Dr. Nick Baggage. He's ready.